one or two examples. Most of my students are psychology students. They come to me saying that, the way they have learnt psychology, whatever is learnt in the psychology classes, so they're fed up with that. When I start telling them the stories of Sanskrit, how Sanskrit is structured, the very language, I'm not going to the content of the language, what contents are there, but the very language itself, tell them what is the sound sense relationship, how a meaning is derived from a word, or why a particular word has these meanings, how this meaning, how this sense came into the word, that itself has a deeper psychology in it, and it's all experiential. So by entering into an experiential mode, that one can understand these meanings. One example I'll give you before I conclude thing. In Sanskrit, there is an eternal relationship between sound and sense. Sabdartha Sambandha Nitya. There is an eternal relationship between sound and sense. The sense of a particular word is not arbitrarily imposed on that word, but it is organically grown. The sound and sense, they have emerged together. How? And what is the psychology involved in it? So this is a very famous example which I give. I have quoted it in many occasions. So there is no harm repeating it here also. So look at this particular word, doubt. Many people, many of us, we have a doubt. But what is doubt? What happens in a state of doubt? Why do we have doubt? What is the source of doubt? Now when we are talking about the language, this very word D-O-U-B-T, doubt, can never explain us what is doubt. Cannot take us, lead us to the source of doubt. Cannot provide us a solution how to get rid of doubt. Because the laws operative in the birth, growth and development of the language is very different. It's arbitrarily imposed meanings in most of the conventional languages. So here I'll explain you one word which shows what is the source of doubt and what happens and why doubt takes place, and then how we can bring a solution to become free from doubt. There are many words, like Sanskrit is a language where it's not the object which is important, but the properties of the object which are important. So all the words you examine, no word is specific to the object, but the words describe the different properties of the object, the functionality of the object. So object is temporal. Today it is there in one form, tomorrow it may change, or it's there, it may not be there, but the properties are eternal. A language dealing with the eternal elements is an eternal language. So it always gives importance to what is eternal. So now there are many words. Therefore, one object can have, suppose it has got 15 different properties, it can have 15 different words in Sanskrit. And if another object is having the same property, it can be also called by the same name. There is no hard and fast rule that this word has to be used only for this object. If another object having the same property, you can use the same word for the other. And then if you discover a new property of the same object which has not been discovered, you can create a new word for it and then add to the list. So there is no final list. So this shows the constant evolving nature of this language, that it is not a static language, it can evolve based on this principle. Now for the doubt also there are so many words. You have Shanka, you have Sandigdhata, you have Sanshaya. So the word that I am taking here is Sandeha. Now this word Sandeha, if we split the different components of it, it has Sam and Deha. These two different sounds combined together, you have Sandeha. Sam is a prefix, like the English word S-U-N, some you use, in the sense of totality, sum total. So the same experience with sum, like it refers to totality, it refers to togetherness, completeness, perfection, like you say, Samskritam, well sculpted language, or the well refined language. So sum is perfect, complete, finished, and together, total. And what is Deha? The first doubt comes, what does Deha mean? Body, right? Now, if sum is perfect and Deha is body, so Sandeha should mean perfect body. Then why this word is used for doubt? This is the first doubt. That how Deha, now here we have to ask this question, that why did they create or choose the word Deha to mean body? For that we need to go to the root sounds. And compared to all the languages of the world, Sanskrit is the only language which has preserved its own root sounds. Maximum number of root sounds are preserved here. But the list which is given by Panini, approximately 2000 root sounds, this is not a final list. If we try to find out what are the principles of the formation of root sounds, then we can find, like as per my calculation, this is what I have given in my book, Sanskrit and the Evolution of Human Speech, that the original language which is lost to us had more than 30,000 root sounds, out of which we have a list of approximately 2000 root sounds. And then from these approximately 2000 root sounds, by following the derivational rules, we can create more than 300 millions of words. So anyone who is familiar with the grammatical rules, so they will agree with me that how from one single root sound, thousands of words, so above 300 millions of words we can create from these approximately 2000 root sounds. So now Deha, meaning body, comes from a root sound Dihi. So Dihi, so there are ranges of experiences or root experiences associated with a particular sound. So the primary experience of Dihi is Upachaya, means gathering, that you collect things, compile, pile up. So this is the first experience, the first sense of this root sound. Dih means to collect, to gather. Now we can go even to another deeper level to find out how did Dih mean Upachaya, or all the different meanings it has. That's a deeper research that I am not going to discuss now. So the primary experience is to gather. Now the process is moving from physical to emotional to psychological to deeper spiritual level. So every word will have a physical meaning, or an emotional sensational meaning, or deeper psychological meaning and spiritual meaning. So now the experience, the physical experience of gathering, suppose we gather some things here. So from 1, when there was nothing, from 1 it becomes 100. So what is the most immediate experience of seeing at it? That things grow. So that's why you go to any Sanskrit dictionary, you will find the first meaning of Dihi is gathering, collection. The second meaning will be to grow, to increase, to enhance, to develop. So all levels of meaning, they come on the second part. Now when something grows, what is the immediate experience? Like you are sitting there, I am sitting here, and things have grown in between. So what is the immediate experience that we have? Physical, that we can't see each other. So it covers, it blocks. So the third level of meaning you will find in the dictionary, that to cover, to block, to anoint, to plaster. So many other, to conceal, to hide. These are the meanings of the third level. Now one can take all these 3 levels of meaning and interpret why body is called Deha. Why body is called Deha? We take the first level of meaning, that it is not one single piece, it is a composite thing, it is a combination of many elements. You have bones, you have marrows, you have blood, you have flesh, you have all the 5 elements in us. So it's not one single thing, it's a gathering, it's a compilation. Okay. The second level of meaning one can take, that it grows. So we were not of the same size as we were born. It has all the possibilities of growing. And in Ayurveda, you will find that it uses 3 different words for body, keeping in the mind, so there is a growing phase, there is a static phase, and there is a deterioration, aging phase. So in its growing phase, Ayurveda calls body as Deha, Deha means to grow. In its static phase, it calls Kaya. And when it ages, deteriorates, it uses the word Sharira. Sharira means to deteriorate. So Shru, to deteriorate. So in three different phases, it uses, this is how the language itself makes us aware of ourselves, creating this awareness that in my growing phase, this is Deha. When I am using the word Deha, I am aware that it's in the growing phase. When I am using the word Sharira, I know that in that phase I use the word Sharira. Now Deha means body, and sometimes when a root sound, Dhatava Anekarthakaha, one single root sound can have many meanings. All these meanings, sometimes very contrasting, very opposite meanings, but when you analyze it, going from one experience to the other experience, one root idea to the connected ideas, then you understand that all these meanings are very logically, very organically they have grown based on the experiences. So now some level, one level becomes very prominent. So in the case of Dihi, the covering is a most prominent meaning in many of the words. So you can take the third level of meaning and explain why body is called Deha, because body is just a case or covering which conceals the soul within. So the soul uses the body as a kosha, as a case, covering. Okay. Now covering becomes the most prominent meaning in the case of Dihi. Now when you combine it Sam Deha, it means perfect covering. So what creates doubt in us is the clouding of our consciousness. When someone is in a clouded consciousness, one doesn't see the reality. There's no clarity. So Sandeha is not doubt. In its root sense, it shows that it is the clouding of consciousness, that there is no clarity in the consciousness. So everything looks dark. There is no clarity, no transparency, no light. So I don't see the reality. So I'm confused, this or that, because I don't see things clearly. So if I can work out, if this very word makes me aware of, at that state of doubt, that I am clouded, my consciousness is clouded. So I have to work on that level to become free from that clouding of consciousness, to remove the doubt. So this is where the language is so deep when we analyze each and every word. So it is in this sense that Sanskrit is a non-translatable language. The non-translatable element, as it is, like as one hears about that, oh, Sanskrit is a non-translatable language, and then the words of Sanskrit should be used as it is in other languages. I don't agree to this, because Sanskrit is not because every language has non-translatable element. It's not Sanskrit alone which has non-translatable. That's why you say, oh, this joke only Odia people can understand, only Punjabi people can understand. There are certain things which are associated with a particular word which cannot be translated. So it has to be lived. So the same way, all languages have non-translatable element, but when we tell Sanskrit is non-translatable, it is in this sense. This interpretation has to be brought to the limelight, the deeper meanings of the words. Not merely using Sanskrit words in English or any other language is not a solution to the problem. Because look, the word yoga is used as it is, but what purpose it has served? The word dharma is used as it is in English. What purpose it has served? It has not served any purpose. It is not merely using the word as it is in English, but being aware of the deeper levels of meaning and using the word in that sense with awareness. Then one really enjoys the beauty of this language. So what happens at a mental level when we analyze these words and then use these words at a mental level, it adds lots of clarity into the word, makes us aware of many different aspects of ourselves. So that is why this language is a language of awareness. And when we deal this language in a very thorough manner and bring this, teach this language from the primary level to the children, keeping this aspect that it's a language of awareness, and then organize the whole content delivery mechanism and then creation of the syllabus, textbook, the content accordingly, then it serves the purpose of education. Thank you.